What if I told you that while politicians argue over borders drawn on maps, humanity just achieved something that our ancestors could only dream of in their wildest fantasies? Right now, as you're watching this video, there are human beings living and working 250 miles above your head, traveling at 17,500 miles per hour around our planet. And yet, down here on Earth, we're still fighting over the same patches of dirt that have caused conflicts for centuries. Brought to you by the Well of Knowledge, here is a current overview of new innovations in humanity's space technology and the unfortunate tragedy that is war and stagnation of our march to the final frontier. The year 2026 has already delivered some absolutely mind-blowing developments in space technology that make science fiction look quaint by comparison. But here's the tragic irony that keeps me up at night. Every dollar we spend on earthly conflicts, every brilliant mind we waste on territorial disputes, every resource we pour into maintaining the status quo of division is a dollar, a mind, a resource that could have been pushing humanity toward becoming a true spacefaring civilization. Let me paint you a picture of what's happening right now in space technology, and then I'll show you the heartbreaking contrast with what's happening down here on Earth. Just last month, SpaceX completed their 14th successful Starship test flight. And this wasn't just another rocket launch. This was a demonstration of technology that will fundamentally change how we think about space travel. The Starship program has evolved into something that would have seemed impossible just 5 years ago. We're talking about a fully reusable spacecraft system that can carry over 100 tons of cargo to Mars, land with pinpoint precision, refuel on the surface, and return to Earth. Think about that for a second. 100 tons to Mars. That's not just sending astronauts anymore. That's sending entire laboratories, manufacturing equipment, habitat modules, and everything needed to establish permanent human presence on another world. The implications are staggering. We're not just talking about flags and footprints missions anymore. We're talking about becoming an interplanetary species. NASA's Artemis program has been making equally impressive strides. The Artemis 3 mission is now scheduled for late 2026, and this isn't just going back to the moon. This is going back to stay. The Lunar Gateway Station is taking shape, and the technology being developed for sustained lunar operations is revolutionary. Advanced life support systems, in-situ resource utilization technology that can extract water and oxygen from lunar ice, and habitat modules designed for long-term human occupation. But here's where it gets really exciting. The private space industry has exploded beyond anything we could have imagined. Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket has been operational for over a year now, providing unprecedented heavy lift capability at costs that would have been unthinkable a decade ago. Relativity Space has perfected their three-dimensional printing manufacturing process, literally printing entire rockets from raw materials in a matter of days rather than months. The technological breakthroughs aren't just in propulsion either. SpaceX's Starlink constellation now comprises over 12,000 satellites providing global internet coverage. But that's just the beginning. They're developing inter-satellite laser communication networks that will enable instantaneous global communication with virtually no latency. Imagine video calling someone on Mars with only a few minutes delay instead of the 20-minute delays we deal with today. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope continues to revolutionize our understanding of the universe, discovering potentially habitable exoplanets on what seems like a weekly basis. Just this month, they confirmed atmospheric signatures on 3 different planets within 50 light-years that suggest the presence of water vapor and organic compounds. We're not alone in this universe, and we're getting closer to proving it every single day. The International Space Station has evolved into humanity's first true orbital manufacturing facility. Experiments in zero gravity are producing new materials, pharmaceuticals, and technologies that simply cannot be created on Earth. Fiber optic cables grown in microgravity have transmission capabilities that exceed anything we can produce terrestrially by orders of magnitude. Commercial space tourism has moved beyond the experimental phase. Multiple companies are now offering regular orbital flights, and the first commercial space hotel is under construction. Virgin Galactic's passenger flights have become routine. Blue Origin's orbital tours are booked months in advance, and SpaceX's civilian missions are inspiring an entire generation to look up at the stars instead of down at their phones. But perhaps most importantly, space technology is solving problems here on Earth in ways that traditional approaches never could. Satellite monitoring systems are tracking climate change with unprecedented precision, enabling us to understand and potentially mitigate environmental challenges. Space-based solar power systems are moving from concept to reality, offering the potential for clean, unlimited energy beamed down from orbital platforms. Advanced materials developed for space applications are revolutionizing everything from medical devices to transportation. The computational power required for spacecraft navigation and operation has driven innovations in artificial intelligence that are transforming every aspect of human life. The miniaturization necessary for space systems has enabled medical devices that can be implanted without surgery and communication systems that fit in devices smaller than coins. Now here's where my heart breaks, and where the tragedy of our species becomes crystal clear. While all of this incredible progress is happening, while humanity is literally reaching for the stars and achieving the impossible, what are we doing with the majority of our resources, our attention, and our energy? We're still fighting over the same things humans have fought over for thousands of years. Territorial disputes that mean nothing in the context of an infinite universe. Religious and ideological conflicts that prevent us from working together toward common goals. Economic systems that prioritize short-term profits over long-term species survival. Political divisions that waste brilliant minds on partisan bickering instead of collaborative problem-solving. The numbers are absolutely heartbreaking when you look at them objectively. Global military spending in 2025 exceeded $2 trillion. $2 trillion. Do you understand what $2 trillion could accomplish if directed towards space technology and exploration? That's enough funding to establish permanent bases on Mars, mine asteroids for rare earth elements, build orbital manufacturing facilities, and develop the technology to reach nearby star systems within our lifetimes. Instead, we spend that money on weapons systems designed to kill other humans over disputes that will be completely meaningless the moment we encounter another intelligent species in the universe. We're like children fighting over toys in a sandbox, while the greatest adventure in the history of our species is happening right above our heads. The brain drain is equally tragic. Some of the most brilliant minds of our generation are being wasted on developing more efficient ways to target advertising, manipulate financial markets, or create social media platforms that divide us further. These same minds could be solving the challenges of interstellar travel, developing closed-loop life support systems, or designing the technologies that will ensure human survival for millennia to come. Think about the resources we waste on maintaining artificial scarcities. Rare earth elements that are essential for advanced electronics are becoming increasingly expensive and environmentally destructive to mine on Earth, while asteroids containing more platinum than has ever been mined in human history are floating just beyond our reach. The energy we spend fighting over fossil fuel resources could power the development of fusion rockets that could reach Mars in months instead of years. The regulatory and bureaucratic obstacles we create for space development are equally frustrating. Environmental impact studies that take years to approve rocket launches, while we simultaneously pump billions of tons of carbon dioxide into our atmosphere through conventional industry. Safety regulations that ground innovative spacecraft designs, while we accept thousands of automobile deaths every year as an inevitable cost of transportation. International cooperation in space has proven that humanity can achieve incredible things when we work together. The International Space Station represents 30 years of peaceful collaboration between nations that have been geopolitical rivals for decades. Russian cosmonauts, American astronauts, European Space Agency personnel, Japanese engineers, and Canadian robotics specialists working together seamlessly to advance human knowledge and capability. But this cooperation exists in spite of earthly politics, not because of them. Imagine what we could accomplish if we applied the same collaborative spirit to all of human endeavor. Joint missions to establish mining operations on the Moon. International crews working together to terraform Mars. Shared technology development for interstellar exploration. The generational impact of our choices right now cannot be overstated. Children born today will live to see humans walking on Mars, mining asteroids, and possibly receiving signals from other intelligent civilizations. But whether they'll live to see humanity become a truly spacefaring civilization depends entirely on the choices we make in the next few years. Every international conflict that diverts resources from space development pushes back our timeline for becoming interplanetary by months or years. Every brilliant engineering mind that gets recruited into developing better weapons instead of better spacecraft is a loss for our entire species. Every dollar spent on maintaining earthly divisions is a dollar not spent on ensuring our long-term survival as a civilization. The existential risks facing humanity are real and immediate. Asteroid impacts, supervolcanic eruptions, gamma-ray bursts, or simply the natural aging of our sun will eventually make Earth uninhabitable regardless of what we do. Our long-term survival as a species depends entirely on our ability to establish permanent settlements beyond Earth, and that window of opportunity is not unlimited. Current projections suggest that with focused international cooperation and adequate funding, we could establish self-sustaining colonies on Mars within 20 years. Within 50 years, we could have mining operations throughout the solar system and permanent habitats at multiple locations. Within a century, we could launch the first interstellar missions to nearby star systems. But these timelines assume continued technological progress and international cooperation. Every year we delay serious commitment to space development pushes these achievements further into the future. Every conflict that diverts resources and attention from space technology reduces our chances of achieving these goals within the lifetimes of anyone currently alive. The technological capabilities we're developing right now will determine whether humanity remains confined to a single planet or becomes a truly cosmic civilization. The choices we make about resource allocation, international cooperation, and priority setting will echo through generations and potentially determine the ultimate fate of human consciousness in the universe. Space technology represents something much more profound than just technological achievement. It represents hope for the future, proof that humanity can solve seemingly impossible challenges, and evidence that our potential as a species is truly unlimited when we work together toward common goals. The young people watching this video right now will live through the most important transition in human history. They'll witness humanity either taking our place among the stars or remaining trapped on a single world, fighting over increasingly scarce resources while the universe passes us by. The choice is ours to make, but the window for making it is not unlimited. Every day we spend focused on earthly divisions instead of cosmic possibilities is a day we'll never get back. The stars are waiting for us, but they won't wait forever. What we need now is a fundamental shift in how we think about human priorities and human potential. We need to start thinking like a spacefaring civilization instead of like tribal groups competing for territory. To start investing like a species with unlimited potential instead of like nations with limited resources. We need to start cooperating like the survival of human consciousness depends on it, because ultimately, it does. The technology is already here. The knowledge exists. The capability has been demonstrated. All we need now is the collective will to prioritize our future among the stars over our past confined to Earth. The greatest adventure in human history is beginning right now. And every single one of us gets to decide whether we'll be part of it or whether we'll be remembered as the generation that chose division over exploration, conflict over cooperation, and fear over hope. If you found this video to be as informative as it was inspiring, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and venture back to the well of knowledge to sate your curiosity.